Welcome to the All Access Entertainment Podcast. I am your host, Joseph Bruen, and I am here with one of the great wrestling personalities from the New England area, of course, a New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer, Mr. Travis Funk. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Joe.
Pleasure to have you here. Absolutely.
Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here.
This would be good, getting caught up, and it's been a while, like you said, going to the way back and kind of covering all of your career. So this will be a lot of fun.
Bring back some good memories.
Absolutely. So let's rewind to that very beginning. You know, growing up as a child or young adult, when did you first discover pro wrestling? Who were some of your favorites growing up?
Killer Kowalski, Bruno Sammartino, Pampero Firpo, Lou Albano. My dad used to take me to Jack Ritchie Sports Arena way back, smoking everywhere, watching
North Attleboro, right?
North Attleboro, Mass. Yeah, started off from there, and Killer Kowalski was announcing we will be training for anybody who wants to be a pro wrestler. So I looked at my father. He's like, "Don't even think about it." That's how it started.
Yeah.
And I walked out, and I happened to meet, Captain Lou Albano and George Steele. They were over there, and Killer Kowalski was next to him. So I approached Mr. Kowalski and I said, "Excuse me, sir, what does it take to be a pro wrestler?" "Well, son, yeah. How old are you?" "Good-sized kid, It's like just over a couple 100 pounds. I was a senior in high school." My father's like, "I don't think so." I'm like, "Okay." I said, "We'll keep in touch." A few months go past. Harry McCarthy, Nature Boy Gary Gold.
Yes.
Went through the same thing with his dad. His dad encouraged him to, go try being a pro wrestler, but he couldn't because he was like 180 pounds.
Right.
So he went. Of course, I followed. And that's when we started going into training, and Killer Kowalski worked out a little payment program. And it was a challenging role. I got my ass whipped. I was being thrown all over in the ring. And he says, "If you could come back after this, I'll train you." Sure enough, I came back for more punishment. And he looked.
And what years was that you were there?
Back in 83.
83, okay.
1983.
So you knew Gary Gold before pro wrestling?
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you meet Gary?
High school.
Ah, okay.
We went to high school together.
Nice.
And so Gary went in, I believe Gary went in 1982. I went in like a few months later, 83. And Gary, encouraging me. So I was like up in the air. Should I continue? Should I? So he continued on. Then I went. And then he ventured off. He went to Florida. Kowalski trained him and said, "Hey, why don't you go to Florida? Some wrestling." And then I got in. I was there for maybe 6 to 8 months. He says to me, "We're going to send you down to Texas area." I was hoping to go to Florida.
Yeah.
So he hooked me up with Fritz Von Erich. So I went down there. Fritz was a hard man, stern, all business. And he looks at me. He goes, let's see what we can do with you." So he's giving me like masks and everything to work out. I worked under masks, and I worked under a bunch of different names, crazy names. And I was there for about a year. Came back to Massachusetts. Then I wrestled in Massachusetts, debuted at Taunton High School. I wrestled, I'm not sure what it was, I think it was Sweet Hansen back in 85.
And who was this for, that debut?
It was for Kowalski.
Okay. IWF at the time.
IWF, yeah. He brought in like Hulk Hogan, and they had Hogan. They had let me see, Hulk Hogan, Atlas, the Samoans.
Wow, Hulk Hogan on an independent show, even though it was Kowalski.
Hulk Hogan was at Taunton High School
Wow.
wrestling. Yeah. Honey Atlas, main event. The superstar Graham, he worked Honey at night. I worked Sweet Hansen, and I'm trying to think. The Samoans worked Jules and Jay Strongbow.
Wow, that's a stacked show.
It was a show. It was a huge show. And that's where I went and I worked as Orlando Morales.
Wow. What a way to start. So you're there at Kowalski School for a while there, your initial training. How long would you say you were at the school itself, getting your training before? 6 months.
7 months. Yeah.
And who else was in that class while you were there?
I remember Ed Bonzo. I remember, Ed Bonzo. Brian Walsh, I think, was one of them. It's just so far. Richard Burns.
Oh, yes.
And that's all I can think.
Yeah.
It's been a lot. It was a long time.
It's been a bit, right. Well, did you have any more interactions with Fritz after that year that you were there with him? Did you ever kind of communicate with him again after that, or was that pretty much?
No, that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't care for how he ran the organization. I was kind of hoping I could just leave and bail out, which I did.
What were some of your experiences there while you were there? Who were some of the guys you were working with out that way?
Oh, I worked with Brian Adidas. I worked with Gino Hernandez. I worked with Harry Von Erich, Skandar Akbar, The Missing Link, Dewey Robertson, as you guys know.
Yeah.
And just a list of names. I just drawing a blank. I got so many guys.
Yeah. And you would go on to have some history with the WXW as well. You've had a great relationship over the years with the late, great Afa, of course, Pops.
Pops was a great guy. He gave me, Pops, let me be honest with you, he gave me a good opportunity. And nobody knows this. It was The Rock. The Rock's father, Rocky Johnson. I am proud to say that he managed me for 3 events. Not a long stay, nothing, huge. It happened to be at the spur of a show that me and Tim Horner, as Cowboys, and Rocky Johnson shows up. Haku was in charge of the whole show. And Haku goes, "Hey, Rocky Johnson's here. How'd you guys like to have a manager?" I'm like, Horner's looking at me like, we don't care. Rocky Johnson comes up to us. He goes, "I'm a black cowboy for you guys today."
And how was he to work with?
Exact words. Rocky?
Yeah.
Rocky was good. He was good. Respectable man. I liked him. And he took us aside and he was talking to me and him, Horner, and we were just surprised that Rocky Johnson's here, and he wants to manage us. So at that same show, Jimmy Snuka was at that show. So he's in the audience. We're coming out, and now Rocky's yelling at Snuka, and I was surprised this even happened. Somebody in the crowd threw a banana at Snuka's head. Right? I looked at Snuka, I go, and I'm healing now. I look at Snuka, I go, Jimmy, take that banana, climb that stinking tree, and act like a monkey. That was my words to him. And he wanted to jump the rail, us going at it. And Rocky Johnson's holding me back, and Tim Horner's holding me back. I'm like, because I knew Jimmy from prior. So we continued the whole match. I think we worked a couple of guys from New England.
Okay.
That were over there. I believe something. One said he was from the Cape Cod, and the other one was from the Boston area. They knew who I was and who Tim Horner was. And Haku goes, hey, guys, let's make them look decent, have a 60-40 match. Oh, no, we didn't have a 60-40 match.
No.
We dominated the whole match. They screwed up the whole thing. I looked at Haku. He's looking at me. He's like, that's it. End it.
Wow.
But Rocky Johnson at the end goes up, stiff shots a guy. I mean, he stiffed him good. Guy comes back in the locker room, broke his nose.
Really? Oh my gosh. Wow. And
Broke
who was
his
that
nose.
he hit?
Huh?
Who was that he hit?
He was from New England. I forget their names.
Oh, it was one of them. Okay.
Yeah, it was one of them. Yeah, he was. But he gave him a good stiff shot that he broke his nose. I'm looking at, holy mother of God. Now, Rocky Johnson, his prime, was in good shape. Towards the end, he was pushing like 300. He was fat.
Yeah.
But he walloped him pretty good with that nose.
Now, Tim Horner, somebody that you have been friends with for many years. Obviously, like you said, you guys have teamed up. You've worked each other. Why don't you give us some memories of Tim Horner, how that relationship started, and some of your memories over the years?
That started in Florida. There was a promoter, David Frost was his name. I had to think back when you asked me. I forget his name, David Frost. And he opened up an organization over there. So he saw me wrestle for Pops. He got a hold of me. He said, this was prior. And no, wait a minute. I'm jumping the gun. David Frost contacted Horner. This time I didn't really know him. And he's the one who got us to go team up more times.
Okay.
And then, they came up with a cowboy name. It was actually the Southern Justice.
Okay.
Southern Justice. That's what they wanted originally. So it came up with that name. That was David. That was actually David Frost. And because we had and then we went back and forth with WXW, Dave Frost, WXW, Dave Frost. We wrestled all throughout New England, Florida. And then he wanted to bring in Tony Alice. He wanted to bring in Ox Baker. And then that happened. It was like a whole. And Florida's hard because it's like a circle. You wrestle for WXW. You wrestle for Coastal Championship out there.
Yep.
You wrestle with Rusty Brooks. You just like, it's a whole uniform. You just go just in circles. You see the same guys all the time.
Yeah. Any other memories you could share about Wild Samoan Alpha and any experiences you've had with him over the years?
Yeah. He was a gentleman. And he gave us a good opportunity when Tim Horner was there. He hooked us up. He also hooked me up with another promoter, which was Rusty Brooks, and we did a lot of skits over which was Global Wrestling, and he was out of Hollywood, Florida, which is down towards Miami area. And we did a lot of things with Rusty Brooks. So he kind of helped me out along the line. And then it was a golden opportunity. I got to meet like a lot of guys. I got to become, work with a lot of people, learn how to wrestle this way, learn how to wrestle that way, learn how to work with, what was his name? Frankie Reyes. He was a referee for NWA, WCW. He also was hooked us up with all kinds of shows out there. It's not like here in New England. New England, you're out for yourselves. You deal with this guy, deal with that guy, but you can't wrestle for him. You can't wrestle for him. Out there, you can just go around in a circle and wrestle for all the organizations out there. There's no hard feelings.
Right.
Because they have all-star wrestling over there, which I think there was the promoter was from New York, and he passed away. And he was a young kid. I forget his name. And he had all-star wrestling in Florida. And he also brought me in. That was up towards Hernando County, Florida, Brooksville area, where Mike Rotunda lives. And he used to bring Mike in a couple times. It was a nice area to work. It was a nice area. I actually enjoyed it. That was before I came back to New England.
And then, of course, you had a long stay in Yankee Pro Wrestling as well. You wrestled there for quite a while. Joe Eugenio, Silvana Souza. Any memories of Joe or Silvana and working for that promotion specifically?
Yeah. I liked working with Yankee Pro Wrestling. Joe was good. I went under a mask with that. I went under the Shooting Star. Shooting Star for a while. Then I went under Johnny Bolton, and I didn't care for any of that. I didn't care for any of those.
That's right, Johnny Bolton. Wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I wrestled like that, and in this line of work, you try to accommodate, please the fans, ask what they want, see what they want. You become different characters along the way when you wrestle something, and you kind of feel comfortable. You got to feel comfortable in what you do.
So Shooting Star, that's the first time that I saw you. I was brand new to the business, 1998 or 90. Well, 98 I joined the business, but this was probably early 99, and you were wrestling for Yankee Pro Wrestling at the Roseland Ballroom in Taunton, Mass.
Yep.
And I was there filming part of the show, and it was a big show. They had a good crowd, and they had Dan Severn and New Jack and a whole bunch of guys there in action.
Yeah.
And that was my first time seeing you. But as far as getting to meet you for the first time, that was at the new Barton Street Community Center, which was the second location. Right. And I don't know if that was UCW at the time or if it was already IIW. It might have been IIW.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it was IIW. Yeah, because when they had asked me, I met Sonny. No, when did I meet Sonny? I met Sonny in 2000. It was after I met Sonny that he encouraged me to come up and go to IIW and meet Anthony Ruffo, meet Gino Martino, and just to meet all these other guys. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was like probably one of the best times I've had in wrestling, because I had just came back from Florida, and then going back and forth to Florida, and it's an experience.
Yeah. And that show at the Barton Street Community Center, I remember I interviewed you backstage. So that was 26 years ago. and I interviewed you
Uh,
and Gary Gold together. You guys were brand new, so like you said, this was 2000. So yeah, that definitely would have been IIW.
yeah,
So you guys came in. You were Johnny Bolton that night
with
because I
Johnny
remember that.
Bolton. Yeah, yeah.
I remember that specifically, and yeah, that was the first time I saw you guys as a team. So prior to all of this, before Yankee Pro Wrestling, those other territories that you were working in, were you going under the ring name of Travis Funk early on?
N- No,
Okay, so what were you initially?
me.
Yeah,
You you know they used to come up with Mike. Was it Mike Johnson? I used to come up with. I didn't come up with these names. I
yeah,
didn't come up with it. Just said, okay. Well, one guy he stuck me in a mask, and he just said, like, okay, you're Mr. X for tonight, or you're the Masked Warrior for tonight.
okay,
They used to put some crazy, crazy masks on me, and I used to just go in there. One time, I was like, I had a black and gold mask. It was, oh yeah, he's the gladiator. I'm like, it's like I'm not comfortable in this,
yeah.
but
So you had all different names at that time.
that's what they needed me in because they had like a lot of guys. They had already pre-planned the show, and I was just like coming in, and they're like all fill-ins, all fill-ins. That's what I
Yeah,
was doing.
well, take whatever opportunity you could get at that time,
I
and get
had
that.
the opportunities, and they were like, you're gonna wrestle Rusty Brooks. I wrestled him as the gladiator for Global because he was he actually promoted um, Global Wrestling in Florida. I
Right.
believe it was Global. Yeah, he did all that, and it's like I took what I could get. You
Yeah.
know, I was never a headliner. I was never a big superstar. I'm not 6'5", 300 pounds. Hey, I'm 6 foot. I'm two
Yeah.
30. I take what I can get.
Right. Absolutely. Well, yeah, you had a great run though, and you got to work in all different areas. You talked about Anthony Rufo. Any memories of Anthony working with him and meeting him for the first time?
Meeting Anthony Rufo, sometimes it's intimidating because the guy was like 400 pounds. He reminded me of Abdullah the Butcher.
Hmm.
And I look at him and I'm like, man, this guy's like a gentle giant. How he came up to me and he spoke to me. Gino Martino also, but those guys were like in the 300s, 400 pounds. Of course, it's intimidating. I'm like, and I'm going to be in a ring with these guys? I was actually working against these guys. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get my ass whipped. Well, guess what? No, that didn't happen. We had a decent match. I'm not, hope he gets hurt. I didn't go over there. I didn't want to prove myself in the ring. I want to go in there and wrestle. It doesn't matter who I am. Win or lose or win, guess what? As long as I can come home safe, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
they. Oh, go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Okay, no, just that's all I cared about because at that time I had just started a family, and I just wanted to come home to my family. And these guys they were great guys to work in the ring. And God bless Anthony Rufo. Love you, brother. He's up there, and I hope he's not suffering like he was when he was down here because he was going through some serious health issues.
Yeah, he sure was. But a great guy, and like you said, gave a lot of people opportunity in the New England scene, and was just a good person, like you said, a gentle giant.
Gentle
So
Jack.
yeah,
Well,
positive memories whenever I think of Anthony Rufo for sure. And knowing Gary Gold from high school, and then teaming with him all these years later, and still you're both working. Did you guys ever have conversations together? As you're in the business for several years now at that point, and say, "Man, we're still in this," or any feedback?
this is how it works, Joe. We hardly see each other now, and Gary he's a good guy, and he's just he lost his brothers, he lost his mom, he has one brother left. He lost his dad, so he's sad, he's depressed. So I'm considered as his brother, and we do come across each other once in a while. Last year, me and him went to go to the IWF reunion for Kowalski. And he was inducted in the IWF Hall of Fame,
Yep.
which is all for it. I'm happy for him. I really am. He deserved it because he also worked hard. He worked in Florida. He worked for Jerry Gray. I worked for Jerry Gray. He's worked for all kinds of promotions in Florida. He's gone through some hell out there too. He had a drug issue at one time, but he got over it. And but overall, I love Gary. He's a close friend. He's like a brother, and we've been partners. We've been opponents. We beat each other up. Then we go back and make up.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how we worked it out.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of history together.
Yeah, we do. We do. We started off young, and now we're in our 60s, hoping we can last a few more years in this world because you never know what's going to happen.
No, I mean anything could happen at any moment, but
Yeah.
you still look great, and you look healthy. When it comes to the wrestling business, the training regimen. How do you stay in shape? What's your training been like over the years?
Well, right now I just have to watch what I eat. I can't do too much. I get a fractured back. The vertebrae aren't the best. My knees ache every day. I got to get myself motivated, but I walk a lot. I walk. I have actually a gym at my house, and my wife uses it more than me,
Yeah.
but I do have a gym here. And just watching my weight, I would drop down to 209. So that's where I'm at right now. I feel pretty good.
And when it comes to venues, you've obviously traveled, all over New England and beyond. Any favorite venues that come to mind that you've worked at?
Roseland was one of them. Roseland in the area. Roseland, there's a place in Clinton we wrestled. It was good at some type of a hall. Sturbridge, was over there at some type of a high school. I think it was huge. It was a sold out crowd. Also, I believe you were there.
At the high school in Clinton, you said?
Yeah, was it the high school or was it an armory? I believe
I'm not sure. I remember St. John's Gym in Clinton.
that's probably it then.
That was a big venue. Yeah.
I like these small shows because you get to interact with the crowd.
Right.
You go to these big places and you're secluded.
Yeah.
You want to ring act and you're out. You're 18 feet away from your the people in the audience. These small shows, you're close. You get to see the fans' reactions closer up. You get to see the kids smile, cry. Yeah, woo, I hate you. I love you. I like that excitement seeing from the people in the audience.
Yeah.
So I prefer having a small crowd, and 200. That's perfect
Right.
because you get to interact with the people.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way around it, and that's what the show is all about: interacting with the people and giving them a good match, a good show, and making it real.
One of my favorite venues that I would often ring announce you at was the Elks Lodge in Attleboro, Massachusetts. And that
Now,
place, I loved it. It was a small place.
yeah,
It had the bar on the side. But even though it was small, they would pack them in there, standing room only.
yeah,
Sometimes you'd probably have 150 people in there or more. And just a great venue. And the crowd was always so into it in Attleboro.
the crowd was always interacting with the wrestlers. And it was like the back and forth talking, especially when Iceberg Sunday he was there. It's like he
Yeah.
was like right there in the people's faces. The people come up. It was a great place. Also, I forget about the Moose Lodge. No, and every month we used to go there, and
Yeah.
it was always packed. And
Yep.
they actually, it's a shame, but I think they stopped wrestling over there.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, I believe they stopped everything over there. But it was an awesome place to wrestle,
Yeah.
and also the Roseland was a great place because it packed about 300 people, and we could always interact with the crowd over there also.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I really like. And you go in Yankee Pro Wrestling, you go into Joe Eugenio's area of maybe 100 people there. That was also a nice place. Kind of reminded me of North Adam or Jack Witchy's.
You talking about the
Small,
PAO hall?
dark, yes,
Yeah,
small and dark,
right.
and it was a great place to work.
Oh yeah, yeah. The PAO hall definitely has a special feel, makes it stand out from a lot of other venues. That's for sure.
Yes, it does. You got the balconies up top. You've had I believe ECW's. It's a couple of shows there too. Correct?
Um,
I could
I
be
know
wrong.
they used to do the Fall River Armory. WWF did as well. I'm not sure if they went to the PAO hall. They probably could have, but I was probably very young, so I don't remember that.
I think they might have. 'Cause
Yeah,
I believe we did a few things over there.
that makes sense. That sounds like a venue that they would go to for sure. I know
Yeah.
they went to the Palladium as well there in
Right.
Fall River. So, another venue that we would go to often was the American Legion in Seekonk. A small venue, nothing special about it.
HWF, Joe.
Yes,
HWF.
exactly.
Okay.
Nothing special when you look at it, but that venue to me was really cool because I started there as a fan, so I would go there as a fan, probably 95, 96, and Renegade Wrestling would be there. You'd see Bob Evans and Johnny Royal and Sonny Goodspeed and all these guys, and and then of course uh, Mike Spada, he ran there, the WWA a couple times. Joe Eugenio ran there for some Yankee Pro Wrestling. So it
Right.
started
Yeah.
to, you know,
Coastal, which you don't remember. Coastal Pro Wrestling also put
right.
some shows there.
Yes, Coastal Pro.
Uh, it was Frank. I forget his last name, but it's Nick Steele's father had a
Hmm.
promotion called Coastal Pro Wrestling back in
I
the day,
remember Coastal Pro. Yeah.
and it was Big City Mike, John Callahan, myself, Brutal Bob Evans, Gary, uh, Knuckles Nelson.
Ah, yes.
That's
Yes.
that's where he started off.
Wow.
Brendan, good guy, all nice people.
Hmm.
Big City Mike, loved the guy. He was huge. He gave me he took me to go do a doc match for Vince.
Ah, how was
Yeah,
that experience?
it was good. It was good. Yeah,
Yeah.
good experience. Yeah, with Mike. He goes,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
on me and you. I said, okay, no problem. They put us together.
Wow. And where was that dark match at?
That was in Providence.
Providence Civic Center.
Yeah, it was local. I believe Mike's the one who set it up. Um, Rick Martel is actually his real name, or
Oh,
Rick
yes.
Martello. But Big City Mike, what do you call it? 6'4", 6'3", almost 500 pounds. He was a mountain.
Yeah.
Hard to work within the ring because I couldn't move a mountain.
Right.
But he was a sweetheart of a guy,
Hmm.
and I had the pleasure to be in the ring with him before he passed away a
Hmm.
couple of years later, which was another sad story because him and John Callahan were always partners for a few
Right.
years.
Absolutely. A lot of history there. And it's tough. The wrestling business, you lose a lot of friends early. A lot of them just go early and it's terrible. And that reminds me, we recently lost not too long ago the Sports Illustrated superstar Robbie Ellis.
Oh,
Any memories of Robbie over the years?
my heart broke. I met Robbie back in 1985. We were doing a show in Lewiston, Maine, and it was for Tony Rumble. No, I apologize. ICCW, Savoli's.
Waldies, yes.
Savoli's held shows up in Maine. Actually, it was in Lewiston, and Tony Alice was the heavyweight champion. Back then, I worked GQ Madison, which is known now by Tommy Dreamer.
Ah, yes. Wow.
Okay,
Early days.
early days. Now, I worked Hummy Dreamer, and I did a couple of things with Ray Odyssey or whatever in the past. I remember the original Undertakers,
Hmm.
the two twins.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember them, if you ever heard of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
These guys were in there, I would say, close to 400 pounds a piece.
Right.
I believe, I forget who worked those guys, but Gary was one of them, and there was somebody else who worked that. But that was also a great place to work. What stunk was when you go to travel for the Savolis is, well, the check's in the mail.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's still some, some great experience looking
What are you
back
gonna?
on it.
What do you
You
go
know, it happens, right?
Oh yeah, it happens. It's like I know they don't make a lot of money on this. I don't know, because they used to pack them in.
Yeah.
They packed it in. Especially when you got Atlas headlining as champion, which he was the true champion, and Tony Rumble was his manager.
Right.
That's when Taz came in, and that's when I actually worked GQ Madison, which is Hummy Dreamer. That's when I met him. The guy back then was in phenomenal condition. Phenomenal condition. I believe I still have photos of that match somewhere in my attic.
Oh, wow. Got to
Yeah.
dig those out.
I got to take them out. And it's all on VHS tapes and photos of it. Also, I have photos of me wrestling for the NWA and NWA New England, all VHS tapes. I wish I could transfer those onto disc CDs or whatever, how they do it
Yeah.
now. I have no way of doing it. But all my memories are in my attic, Joe.
You know who does that now is Danger Boy Alfredo.
Oh, does he?
Talk to him at FanFest because he will put your tapes to DVD.
Oh, I got a lot of tapes back there. I have
Yeah.
a lot of tapes.
He'll make that happen.
I would love to have it all and over because there's a lot of memories over there. Me wrestling for Rumble in Malden, and we did some TV shows in Malden, also some TV tapings that he did. Just my
Sometimes it's the little
memories.
things. What's that?
It's just no, you're right. It's the small things,
Yeah.
It's the small things that matter, and that's what matters to me.
Yeah, you get all these memories that trickle in over the years and little things that happen. And, even for me, just, starting off as a fan at the Legion and Seekonk and then fast forward years later, being running shows there and, coming full circle and lots of good memories with HWF, very small shows, spot shows.
Yeah, hey, I'm a former HWF heavyweight champion too. You remember?
Absolutely, yes, yes.
I'm a former. What?
You were there, and Gary Gold and Blackheart, and we'd always use Jose Perez and El Mascarado, Bert Centeno.
God bless El Mascarado.
Had a great group of guys, and it was a lot of fun. And then years later, APCW, Action Pack Championship Wrestling, would run a lot of their shows out of Seekonk, and I was the booker for that promotion at the time. This was 2008, and that's actually when I started the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. So that also, originated at the shows right there in Seekonk, and so
I came down from Florida just to
I remember
participate
that.
in it.
Yes, you were in the inaugural class.
Yeah.
2008. Absolutely.
I drove all the way from Florida.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I went back to Florida. Yeah, we drove all the way in. It was worth it.
Yeah.
Just to see everyone, it was well worth it, to see Cody Boynes, Burt, Gary. Iceberg Sunny D, also.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, who else was there? That initial class, Anthony Rufo, Sweet Scott Ashworth, and Gary Apollo, and
Brickhouse
obviously,
Baker.
Brickhouse Baker. Posthumously, we inducted Walter Kowalski and Tony Rumble. You can't have a New England Hall of Fame without those two pillars of New England. You gotta start there for sure. And Rich Palladino, it was
Yeah.
a great group of people. Robbie Ellis, Sandy Starr. Any other memories from Massachusetts specifically? Any different venues or shows that you remember?
I remember a few shows. It's the people who I wrestle sometimes. I forget because I've been in the ring with so many. But
Yeah,
I never forget your shows, Joe. I'll never forget your shows. You've always shown like a lot of respect towards all your workers and how you treated everybody. You were honest with everyone up front, and that's how we all like it. And you you've actually had great shows. You made me champion. I
yeah,
thank you for that.
yeah.
But guess what? I lost the championship to somebody who deserves it even more than me, El Mascarado.
Yes.
Okay, but since those are special memories that I cherish. I work with Gary Gold. He's a great competitor. El Mascarado, Jose Perez, also great worker. Because Mike Baker, me and him has battled everywhere. Gino Martino.
Oh yes.
Now, Gino Martino and I, throughout from going from Boston all the way to towards at the Cape, we had a battle going. We did strap matches. We did all kinds of all kinds of shows and matches, and Ox Baker comes in, becomes his manager. Okay, and it was just those special memories that you have working these people
Yeah.
because you have great respect for those guys. And guess what? Those guys became close friends of mine. No,
Let's talk about Ox Baker. You were friends with him for a long time, and not just here, but in Florida, right?
Florida also.
Yeah. Any memories you could share about Ox?
Ox, Ox was a great man. We got to meet his wife. We've been to his home. He became an ally. He became a mentor towards me. He's actually helped me. We actually had Ox Baker and his wife, sweet wife, stay at my house in Florida, and we had Atlas also came to my house. Tony Atlas, Tim Horner. So it was probably on a Sunday morning because he flew on a Saturday. I will never forget this at all. Never. And there's another story behind this. Ox, 5 o'clock in the morning. I get a swimming pool in the back of my house. All of a sudden, we're hearing hoof, hoof, hoof. No, we had weights at home. Hoof, hoof. I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, what the heck's going on? I hear hoof, hoof. Ox in my swimming pool, knee deep in the beginning, lifting weights. I go, Ox, it's 5 in the morning. He goes, yeah, so what? I'm like, my neighbors are sleeping. He goes, well, I'm awake. I'm like, okay. He goes, you making breakfast? I go, I'm not breaking you breakfast. Where's your wife? She's sleeping. I go, get your wife up. She can make you breakfast because you're up. She knows where the kitchen is. Ox is like, all right, let me finish this. Now he's doing his weight's like 5 pounds. That's all he's doing.
Right.
Time Ox is probably like in his late 60s. Just
Sure.
keep himself all toned up. His wife comes out yelling at him, Douglas, get out of the pool. Get in here. I'm making breakfast. My ex-wife was over there. And she's like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. We actually have these people at the house. I go, it's fine. So we all get in. Everything's over. 12 o'clock. Atlas comes over to my house. What's for lunch? Now, okay. What do you want, Tony? Oh, hot dogs. Okay. So we get a pound of hot dogs. So I'm on the grill making hot dogs. You have any more hot dogs? I go, no. He goes, oh, I need more than that. I go, Tony, I'm making hamburgers. Oh, no, you got to go to the store. I need hot dogs. I'm like, Tony, how many hot dogs are you going to eat? Look at you. He's like, no, I want hot dogs. guy with like 2 pounds of hot dogs. No problem. Now, we had to get ourselves all set up to go to an autograph signing at the hospital in Florida. Now, we're driving from Spring Hill, Florida, where I lived, all the way down to Tampa. So a promoter comes out because we want a big skit for him, and he puts us in his car. Well, he had a wagon, a station wagon. So we're going down the highway and puts down all the windows, and it's freaking hot in there. Going down there, Alice farts.
Oh no!
Here I am. I'm in the back seat because Alice wanted the front seat over here. Ox is on the other side of me. The promoter's here. Him Hornet's in the middle. Alice lets it go. Him Hornet goes, "What the F, Tony?" He's like, "What? You don't fart?" He goes, "Yeah, but come on. What'd you eat?" It's a couple of hot dogs. I go, "Yeah, 2 pounds of freaking hot dogs. That's what he ate." Hornet's looking at me like, "He ate what?" I go, "Yeah, 2 pounds of hot dogs." He goes, "No, sir." I go, "Yeah, he did." Tony Alice will remember this. If you run into Tony, we're going to have this little conversation. Now, Tony and I, we kind of stayed together. We get to the hospital because it was a hospital for children, and we're all walking in there. As soon as we walk in there, Ox, "Hey, we're here!" screaming. The nurse comes out. "Oh, please, sir, calm down, calm down." Now he's coming. He's like, "What?" He goes, the children, you got to wake up the children." Alice turns around and goes, "Ox, shut up." So I'm like, oh my God, what did we get ourselves into? Now Ox is yelling. Tony's yelling at him, right? We're going to the hospital. And Hornet's looking at me like, "Hey, go, you think we should leave these 2 clowns in the back?" I go, I don't know what to do. So we're just walking to the hospital, and there was this child in this room. I walked in there, and I asked the nurse, I go, "Hey, is there any way we can go see these kids?" Now we're supposed to, sign. I'm like, I brought some autographs. I brought some photos. I just gave these children, photos of me. Their eyes light up. We're taking pictures. We had the straps with us. We're taking pictures with the belt with these kids. We're taking them with nurses. And just the expression on the children's face at the end when they see the likes of Tony Atlas, Mr. USA, well known, respected, champion, Hawks Baker, a legend. Just seeing those 2 guys makes me happy because I can see the smiles on their face. Me, I'm just a worker. I'm just in the ring. Him Horner, same thing, hell of a worker. So we're just we're doing that, in there with these children. It's a great feeling. It's a warm feeling. That's a special memory that I will never ever forget in my life. I mean, just the promoter was nice to us. David Frost was his name also. Another came back because he kept calling us to go back and forth for shows. We would do shows. Then he passed away, and but those are probably the highlight of my career was being in the hospital with Atlas and Ox and seeing the smiles on these children's faces.
Yeah,
Because they're all cancer children.
right.
God knows if they're going to be here tomorrow. There was one little child who's like 4 years old, and he gave me the biggest hug. I had tears coming down my eyes. Ox left there crying. And you know how Ox is.
Yeah.
Nothing gets to him. Ox left there crying.
It's moments like that, they're irreplaceable, right?
Exactly. Only Alice left there. He's like, "Oh, these poor children. I go, "Yeah." Only Alice will tell you personally the same thing I'm telling you, because his face expression when we walked in there was it's sad. It's just to see everything, those kids like that. But
And within the industry, what would you say has been your greatest challenge? Not inside of the ring, but just in general, working in the business.
My kids. I used to have to take my kids everywhere I went. Me and my ex-wife we were never 100%, and I used to have to take them to all the shows. As I'm sure you remember that, Joe, also.
Yeah. Yep.
And I used to have the guys' wives watch my kids. Can you watch my kids? They'd be in the front row as I'm trying to get myself ready for the show, always thinking about my kids, how they are when I have Mike Striker's wife watching them, or Mike Baker's wife watching them, or Ox's wife sometimes would have to watch them as they were younger. So Ox and Peggy actually became almost like family, because I would always bring my kids most of the time.
Yeah.
And it was challenging just to make sure that they're okay, to make sure I leave okay, because I'm the one driving home now with 3 kids. Right. That was the biggest challenge of my career, was bringing my children along, which I don't regret. I will not regret at all, because they got to meet a lot of great performers along the way. The Bushwhackers, King Kong Bundy, George the Animal Steel, Tatanka. They've all came close to seeing those guys say, hey, I met him, or I met him, I deal with him. And it gives them all the memories. Yeah. Even my stepson, you gave him the opportunity to hook over a legend, Harley Race. You walked them around with a wheelchair.
Right.
So it gives these kids now an opportunity to say, hey, I met Harley. I escorted him. Those are things you're never going to forget. And the people who are behind it, like you Joe. HWF. You helped a lot of people down the line. Iceberg Sunny D. You basically escalated him with your shows.
Yeah.
He was a huge performer at your show. He used to he would play the crowd.
Right. Yeah.
Iceberg was one of them. Eric Shred. You helped him out. I can name a few. What's his name? Scarecrow. There's a kid, Scarecrow. Chris.
Yep, Scarecrow.
Yeah, you helped all those guys along.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even me. Hey, I want to say, hey, I'm not a superstar. I'm just here.
Oh, it's nice to play a small role and be a small part of that, and it was always fond memories when I think of the HWF. Just a great time period in the business for me, and making all the friends over the years was the best part of it, for sure. On the flip side of your greatest challenge, and I know you just told the story about the hospital and visiting the children, but maybe even beyond that, what has your most rewarding moment been within the industry?
Making friends and brothers and sisters along the way. Good, close friends. I have one now who's dealing with a heart attack. He had a heart attack. Soul man, Ulysses.
Oh, Ulysses, yes. How is he doing?
From what I understand, he's stable. I believe he went home already.
Okay.
I stay close with him O'Reilly, which is, and him and Tony keep track back and forth. So I contact Tim. Tim contacts him, and they go back and forth. But he's stable. He's doing good. And just the opportunity of just meeting all these people along the way, and you get a great bond between these people, and it's like a family. Wrestling's a family. Sunny D. I didn't know him from a hole in the wall. Guess what? Now he's become like a brother to me. And now if I need anything, he's here for me, and he actually works for me when I need him.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and he's actually one of the first wrestlers I saw as a child, going as a fan to the NEWA. and I started doing that in 93. And, seeing Sonny practice, running to the ring and sliding into the ring and, seeing different things like that. And, being a fan initially, but Sonny's always been a great guy and just, awesome to work with and always so positive. That is for sure. He's definitely one of the more positive people in the business.
And he's a good character.
Yes.
He's a good
Absolutely.
character. Like I said, we became close friends, and then we teamed up, and then, hey, before you know it, we came up with a name, the Silver Stallions.
Yeah, you guys became the Silver Stallions. Why don't you tell us about that? Kind of the history of the Silver Stallions, how you guys started as a team.
We actually started it as enemies.
Hmm.
And one day I see him, and I had total respect for him. He comes in there with a cowboy hat. I go, listen, you can't have a cowboy hat on. You're not a cowboy. He goes, I can be who I want to be. I go, you want to know something, bro? You're absolutely right. So I respected him, and we actually teamed up one night. I forget who we teamed up against, but I believe it was Joel Davis and some other guy. It was for you, Joe. And I'm like, hey, this guy's got he can read my mind. So it's like, hey, so I persuaded him. I said, hey, you want to team up? He's like, yeah, no problem. So we had matching outfits. I ordered matching outfits, and we teamed up. We had like silver and black and everything. We didn't even have a name. We didn't have a name. We didn't know. We're going back and forth with names. We're going back, the Cowboy Riders or this and that, whoever. And I came up with something Stallions. He goes, this is the Young Stallions. I go, well, we got silver and black. Silver Stallions. And that stuck with us.
No.
Yeah, we actually made our debut as the Silver Stallions in Quincy, Massachusetts.
Okay.
For I believe it was for UCW, and we just had like a knack for being tag team partners, and it worked out well. It really worked out well. We did a little skit, and it I actually enjoyed working with him in the ring.
Yeah. So you would probably say that he is one of the highlights of your
One of
in-ring
the
career?
highlights of my career
Yeah.
is Sonny D.
Hmm. Let's talk
Going
about
back to Robbie Ellis, I need to ask you a question.
yeah.
Robbie Ellis, you had asked me a question. I missed it for a second. Robbie Ellis, when I first had him, he was a gentleman, and I've worked against Robbie various times, 3 or 4 times. At the same time, Hogan had passed away, and I had total respect for Hogan. But as a person, I had tears coming down my eyes when Robbie passed away because he had become like a brother to me. And every time he would see me, or I would see him, guess what? We'd pass everyone else and just give each other a big hug, and we shook each other's hand. That's how much of a great person he was. Sorry to cut you off, but I actually had to say
No.
that. I
No,
love Rob. I
yeah.
love Rob.
Yeah, Robbie meant a lot to a lot of people in the area, and for people that aren't familiar with Robbie, he was known as the Sports Illustrated legend, and he did
Legend.
appear in different Sports Illustrated articles and stuff, and he had the Canvas Man documentary made about him here in the area, and he would refer to himself as the Hollywood superstar, and then on the other side of things, Robbie Ellis behind the scenes. He owned a fine art gallery,
Yes, he was
Baradoff Gallery. Yeah.
a connoisseur. He was a very smart man.
Yep. Based out of Portland, Maine, I believe it was. And he and his wife Annette had the big art gallery, and they would sell, paintings to Sylvester Stallone, different presidents of the United States. I mean, he was selling some high end pieces, and you would never know that, if you didn't know the other side of Robbie Ellis. But and then
I
he'd
know
hop on
there's
a motorcycle and drive 4 hours to an HWF show.
right, and not get paid. And sometimes he would give money to promoters so he can promote himself in the ring.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the type of person he was. He didn't care about the money.
Right.
Rob did not care about the money. He just wanted to perform in the ring and give the people a good show. And even if he won or lost, he didn't care.
Yeah.
That's how he was.
He was a true performer, that's for sure.
Yeah, he was. So I'm sorry. I just had to say that to you, Joe.
No need to apologize. I mean, Robbie should be remembered. He was a friend to both of us for sure, and always very professional. Always very positive and kind, and he was, just so gentle. The way he would come across, he was just the nicest guy, genuinely the nicest guy.
He was. But Mr. Low Blow himself.
This is true. Yeah, exactly. Right. He's still a heel at the end of the day.
Still a heel. But
And he actually had a great run with Iceberg Sunny D as well.
yes,
They wrestled on a lot of my shows over the years, and they had some really fun matches together.
they did. They did. And I had some fun matches with Robbie myself.
Yeah. Yep.
It was a shock to me when I heard he passed.
Yeah. That was out of nowhere for sure. And then let's talk about Mr. Biggs, Chris Biggs, his wife. They were a big part of the New England scene for a while as well. Chris would run the music at a lot of the shows. Mr. Biggs, Michael James, he would rent the ring out, bring the ring, set it up with his family, at tons of the shows. Mr. Biggs, of course, was one of the co-promoters of IIW, International Independent Wrestling. Before that, he would run the IWA, which was out of St. John's Gym in Clinton, Massachusetts. And then even after that, 2002, he would go on to run the WCWA. So he ran a lot of promotions in the New England area. He would have awards ceremonies sometimes for the boys, just a private dinner. Any memories of Mr. Biggs and his wife over the years?
Yes, there was great people. He's the one who actually had a tournament for New England Heavyweight Champion.
Mm.
And I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. New England Television Champion. I became his champion. And I held the title for maybe about 6 months. And then I passed it down to Jose Perez. So he took it away from me. But Mike's given me like a few opportunities. Then I teamed up with Eric Shred, and then we became tag team champions with Eric for a while. And he gave me some good opportunity. Mike was a good person, a good-hearted person with a lot of health issues.
Yeah.
And it was sad to say that he also died. He passed away at a young age.
Yeah, I think he passed away maybe 2009 or 10. It was quite a while ago now. And then unfortunately, his wife would pass away as well.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she passed away probably before COVID. Yeah,
Wow.
Unfortunately, yeah. Both very young,
Very young, in their 30s, I think, 20s
Probably.
and 30s.
Yeah. But both great people, and some more great memories, coming out of doing shows with them. And Mike's, I remember breaking down in a U-Haul, and the ring was in the back of the U-Haul. I'm sitting in the front with Mike on one side, he's driving, and his wife Chris on the other side. So I'm kind of stuck in the middle, and we break down on the road. It's pitch black. It's probably 1 a.m, and back then there was no GPS, there were no cell phones, so we didn't know.
MapQuest.
Yeah, there was MapQuest, but that wasn't going to help our broken truck. So we we were stranded, and I remember all the rest of the family getting out of the back of the truck, which obviously was illegal. You're not supposed to be back there. Right. And they're back there with the ring. So you see his dad get out, you see the ring crew guy get out, Dan Badandi gets out. was like a circus train, you know?
Almost like a bunch of Mexicans jumping off of a pickup truck at the end, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Now, you know, chiming in your inner fan, what would you say is your Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling? Top four, any era, you know, who would that be for you?
Bruno Sammartino, unorthodox George Amel Steele, Mr. Fuji,
Ah, yes.
and of course Walter Killer Kowalski.
And that brings me to, you know, I was just going to ask you about Walter. What was your biggest takeaway from your time with Walter, working for Walter, your training with Walter? You spent a lot of time with him. What was your biggest takeaway?
Okay, I liked working with Walter. I really did, but he was also he liked to push. He would like to see his students improve, and he would take you to a certain level, and then if you can't do anymore, then he would pass it on to somebody else, like he does all the time. Like he would send somebody down to what do you call it, the Monster Factory sometimes in New Jersey with Mike Sharp, or to Fritz, or to whoever. He would just pass it on, just so he can learn New England style, but there's other styles of wrestling also. So that's
Yeah,
why I like it.
Walter was certainly a pillar here in the New England area, and yeah, tough love sometimes with Walter Kowalski, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he was old school.
He wanted you to learn,
Yeah,
and he wanted you to learn the hard way.
right.
He wanted you to accomplish something in life,
Yeah.
and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from Walter, and I've learned a lot from Fritz, and I've learned a lot from everybody else, and then you keep learning along the way. There's good matches, sour matches, stiff matches. You're gonna get hurt. Yeah, I've gotten hurt, but guess what? At the end, we're all here right now.
Yep.
And one opponent I have to say that he passed away too soon also was Mike Jones. Virgil.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he passed away, and me and Virgil had a little altercation in Braintree, Massachusetts. We wrestled, and a lot of people don't know this, but there was, when me and Virgil were in the ring, a fan actually threw a jackknife in the ring, open jackknife, switchblade.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Really? Did it hit you
Yeah.
guys?
It missed Virgil by 2 inches. At that time, it was the referee, which was a real deal.
Joel Davis.
Joel Davis. He was refereeing the match,
Wow.
and Joel saw the switchblade in the ring. He kicked it out of the ring. I don't know what happened after that, if they called the police or anything. Yeah, but it was an open switchblade.
I remember that. I remember the that made the newspaper. It was a picture of you and I think Joel kind of breaking you guys up, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that. Yep.
Yeah, there was that was I will never forget that. Even though I didn't have, I have respect for Virgil. I didn't care for him, but I had respect, and he was also a brother. And I'm glad nothing happened to him
Yeah.
or myself, because you never know.
Right.
That's not good. It's almost like a Bruiser Brody attack. That's not good.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know about that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And
I know
continuing
that
on.
may have hit somewhere.
Yeah. Continuing on with the Mount Rushmore, you know, who would be your Mount Rushmore of New England male wrestlers specifically? Any era.
Mike Baker, Jose Perez, El Mascarado, Sonny D.
There you go. All right. That's a good one.
You got technicians all the way up to characters.
Yep. Remember Sonny on Not a Chicken D?
That's right. That's why I'm saying he's a character.
That was a good one. That was entertaining.
As he's flapping his wings.
Oh yeah.
Coming out to the chicken song.
Oh
Chicken.
man, that would piss the fans off.
Well, let me tell you something. He
and
played a
entertain them. Half of the crowd was laughing, half the crowd was pissed.
yeah, he did that. I give him a lot of respect and guts for that because I could never go up there and flap my arms like a chicken and start cackling.
Right.
I'm not a chicken. I'm not a chicken. So, Sonny, when you see this podcast, guess what? The only chicken you are is when you're in the ring against me.
And then your Mount Rushmore of female New England talent, any era, who would that be?
I didn't know too many of them. Nikki Rocks was one of them. She was good.
Yeah.
Nikki Rocks, Amanda Fox, Brittany Brown,
Yep.
and I really didn't know too many of them. I know this one, Martinez. She was also
Mercedes Martinez. Yeah.
Martinez, yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. But as far as I remember, because I really didn't. We didn't really work with a lot of women wrestlers in New England. We worked with when I was over there. It wasn't too many.
Right. Yeah. No. Back then there were few and far between. You know, you'd get maybe
Yeah.
one match, but it wouldn't be every show.
Wouldn't be every show.
You know, now
Nope.
you've got tons, mixed into the cards, which is great. But at that point, yeah, there just wasn't as much, and it wasn't just the indies. There wasn't that much, period. You know, in wrestling as a whole.
What you have? You had Moolah, May, Young, which was great. You had Velvet Sky, Wendy Richter, all back then. Yeah, they were.
Yeah. Now, if you had to pick three, who would your top three matches or opponents be?
Opponents?
Over the course of your career.
El Mascarado, Gino Martino, and Brickhouse Brown.
Brickhouse Brown or Baker?
Baker, I'm sorry.
Oh, Brickhouse Baker. Okay, I didn't know if you worked Brickhouse Brown.
No, I think I have.
Oh, you worked him too.
I think I have because he worked for Fritz way back when.
Oh wow. Okay, so
yeah, I think I have.
That's great. Now, favorite referee over the years? Any favorite ref stand out that you enjoyed working with more than others?
I enjoyed working with Frankie Reyes out in Florida. He was more interactive with the crowd and the workers.
Okay.
So he was awesome. So Frankie, if you hear this, I'm not sure if you know who Frankie Reyes is.
I've heard the name. I don't think I've ever met him.
Yeah, he's a nice man, nice gentleman. He actually, I believe, he has a training school in Clearwater. I think it's Clearwater, Florida. He's got a training school there, and he teaches wrestling. And he has, I believe, who he had. I'm not sure if it's Ricky Santana who he's got helping him. But I think it's Ricky Santana.
And what would you say is the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Keep your mouth shut. Do what you're told. Don't talk back. You know who said that to me?
Who?
Killer Kowalski.
Ah.
That's his exact words. Don't go in there acting like a superstar because you're not.
Right.
You are who you are. You just go in there, do the best you can, and protect your opponent, and then you'll be fine. You go out there with an attitude, it's not good for you.
And then if you could add something to that, to somebody who's getting into the business now, what would your advice be?
My advice would be, before you get to this business, just get a career first. Get a career, because wrestling's not what it is. You're in there for a few years, you get hurt, you're done. If you don't have anything to fall back on, you might as well become homeless. Because there's nothing out there now, not in this day of age.
And, looking at your career as a whole, if you could pick one moment, whether it's inside of the ring, outside of the ring, behind the scenes, on the road, What has your favorite number one moment been in your entire career?
Spending time at the Samoans function is in Florida.
Hmm.
They had the family reunion, and let me tell you something. A lot of love there. That was when Serona Snooker became Lita Maivia's. That's her granddaughter. Lita Maivia had a ceremony in Florida, and Rikisha was there. Samu was there. Snooker was there. Everyone was over there. Just seeing the whole Samoan dynasty. Sika was there. No, Roman Reigns was there. All the young kids who I seen back in 2009. That's when they had this function out there.
Yep.
Now I see them on TV.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love in the Samoans, and you got to drink plenty of kana.
Got to be
And
ready, right?
I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No.
So kana is almost like a coconut. It's a root drink, and if you drink too much of it, you get drunk off of it.
Oh,
But out of my whole career, enjoying the time with the Samoans was awesome. It was great, so Pops and his wife, they opened their house to us. We spent a lot of time at their home, also in Mineola, Florida. And like I said, that's the highlight of my life: is being part of the Samoan family.
and I know you didn't work there long, maybe once or twice or whatever it may be, but Tony Rumble, any memories of Tony and his promotion?
I do. He was a good guy. He was. I was for him. I believe only once or twice, and but it was towards the end of his career. I think it was towards the end because he started to get sick. He had actually hired, asked me to go down and do some TV shows up in Malden. So I wrestled up in Malden on a Saturday afternoon, like 4 or 5 times. We would do some TV shows with Knuckles Nelson and a bunch of other guys that were over there. Tony Jones, he's like 7 foot guys. He was I have he was a commentator.
It doesn't sound familiar to me for some reason. I can't picture him.
Yeah, he was an announcer. He's a really tall
Oh, wait
guy.
a minute. Tony Jones from the Tony Jones show.
If he has a Tony Jones one, yeah, probably. But
Yeah. Okay.
he did stuff. He's really tall. He's probably like almost 7 feet tall.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, he was an announcer or and a commentator for Rumble in the past. That's my only experiences up there.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't, I didn't realize that. I knew he was an announcer early on, Tony Jones.
Yeah.
He's a vendor often at New England Fan Fest. When you said Tony Jones, for some reason I was thinking Virgil, and then I was like, wait, he's not a ring
Oh
announcer.
yeah. That's Tony Jones.
Wrong one. But yeah, good times in New England overall, and wrapping up kind of looking at your career as a whole, fast forward years from now, looking back at everything, what do you want your legacy to be? How do you want to be remembered?
Respected and lovable, and if that's all. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't ask for much, Joe. I
Yep.
just want to be respected.
And there's
You
just
know
a
how I
couple.
am.
Yeah,
I'm just
no,
a back
absolutely.
guy. I could let things go. It doesn't
Right.
matter to me.
Very positive though, which has been
Watching you grow up, watching you grow from 18 years old all the way to you're all about 40 years old now. Oh
yeah.
my!
I know. I'm 43 now. Yeah.
It just makes me feel older. Older. I never said old. Older.
Older, right, exactly. Yeah, I started when I was 16,
Yeah.
went
Well,
by very quickly, that's for sure.
yeah. Bye.
Any memories of Chris Blackheart or the Punisher Don Vega?
Yes, they're all good guys. I love Chris. He gave me some. I did a few shows for Chris, and I've worked the Punisher also. And Chris, no problems. Great guy.
Any opportunities with John Cena Sr. over the years? Did you work with him?
Yeah, he became my manager. He was my manager for a while. We teamed up, and he managed me and Gary for a while. We had like a little stint with the Baker brothers. It was an experience.
Yeah.
John was a good guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I saw John probably the last time was 2 years ago at an event, and me and him were inducted in the Museum Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame
Hmm.
in Rhode Island. And that was the last time I saw him. And he had a nice young girlfriend at that time.
What's that?
He had a young girlfriend at that time. His girlfriend?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
He's got a young woman.
Yeah.
Got to keep him alive. Good.
I know, right?
So hopefully he'll come to your event in May.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It'd be great.
It'd be great to have him.
Well, Orlando, I really appreciate you being here. Of course, the fans know you as Travis Funk. Appreciate you taking the time and being here and kind of going back in time and talking about your career. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Joe, it was nice. Thank you. Thank you for everything. And thank you for all your questions. I hope I did okay.
That was great. Yeah, no, it's always a pleasure to chat. And, obviously everybody's so busy. Sometimes we can go a while without seeing each other. But in wrestling, it's like no time has passed,
And I might as well keep in touch while I can. While I'm still here.
Yeah, well, got plenty of time, hopefully. You know what I mean? Gotta stay positive for sure. But I will see you May 2nd, of course, the Young Stallions. For any of the independent wrestling fans out there, New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Famers, the Young Stallions will be signing autographs along with many others, wrestling's past, future, and present day as well. So it's going to be on the 2nd of May, and that'll be in Seekonk, Massachusetts at the Ramada Inn Hotel, allaccessentertainment.com for information and tickets. So we truly look forward to that. That'll be from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. For Travis Funk, I'm Joseph Bruen, and this has been the All Access Entertainment Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave your comments. Love to hear from you, the fans, what you thought of this interview and what you'd like to see next time. We'll see you all next time.
Take care.